The Dallas Mavericks are in a bit of a weird spot right now, and the issue is they lack any talent at the end of the bench in their depth whatsoever. You look at this roster, and Jalen Brunson isn't in this yet. You have Spencer Dinwiddie, who comes and he goes, and a lot of times he goes. Kemba Walker was their major free agent signing that they were hoping was going to turn this generation around. McKinley Wright, I don't even think he gets minutes. Facundo Campazzo is not here. He was supposed to be the free agent pickup that they were looking for. They were supposed to go out and get Goran Dragic, who's playing pretty well for the Bulls. He's not here. Josh Green has been probably their only other bright spot. Frank Ntilikina, trash. Jaden Hardy, he's just too young to see at this point. Tyler Dorsey. Tim Hardaway Jr. is the streakiest player who's getting $20 million ever in the history of basketball. Reggie Bullock is just complete trash 99% of the time. Dorian Finney-Smith has been having a horrible season after he got his extension. Maxi Kleber, horrible season as well. Davi Bertans doesn't even get minutes because all he can do is occasionally shoot the three sometimes. Christian Wood, Jason Kidd refuses to play. JaVale McGee, trash. And Dwight Powell is what he is, a role player at best, earning $11 million. So this roster, when you look at it, just really lacks the talent. And of course, they let Jalen Brunson go to the New York Knicks in the offseason. Didn't even try to re-sign him. And they did sign him to a big, it was like, what, 4 years, $100 million. And I don't think Jalen Brunson is worth this theoretically, realistically, but you got to at least try to re-sign the guy, keep the talent on the team, build as much as you can around Luka Doncic. If the fit doesn't work, great, trade him away for something else. What they did is they let Jalen Brunson walk for nothing and then traded for Christian Wood, who they refused to play. So the Dallas Mavericks are just a complete disaster, which is bizarre because they have one of the best young players in the NBA right now. A lot of people are trying to group him in with the best players in the NBA. I still think Luka has a little ways to go. I think he's overrated. I think this 96 overall isn't warranted because of his usage rate. I think he's closer to somewhere in the low 91, 92s till he gets that three-pointer up, till he gets that free throw up, until he gets into a system with a good head coach that knows how to actually use NBA players. But the Dallas Mavericks are just a complete disaster at this point. So I'm running the experiment, the what if machine. What if the Dallas Mavericks kept Jalen Brunson on the team, because he has been shining. He has been excelling out there in New York City. And while the Knicks aren't a great team, that's just because Jalen Brunson isn't a superstar player. He's, a tier below. This 86 overall might even be a little bit generous, but he's a very good player in his own right. And in the NBA, you got to collect, you got to stockpile talent. Christian Wood is getting 20 minutes a night because Jason Kidd absolutely hates him. I do not understand why they went out, why they made him their major free agent acquisition and just refused to play him. I get that the defense isn't great. I get that his main strength is just to play iso ball, throw it to him on the elbow, and let him go to work with his back to the basket, but he's your second best player. Let him do what he does best. Put your players in positions to succeed. I always talk about this with the Rockets, about Steven Silas. You got to put your players in their best positions to succeed. Play them to their strengths. If your guy's a mid-range shooter, get him mid-range shots. Run some Iverson cuts. Do something all on the elbow so that they can get some open mid-range buckets. If they're a three-point shooter, sit them in the corner. If they need the ball in their hands, let them drive to the paint, run the pick and roll, run some motion offenses, do whatever. But put your players in positions to succeed. And Dallas is not doing that, and I think it's time to start pointing the finger at Jason Kidd. He is not a good coach. He has not succeeded anywhere he went. Last year, they went to the Western Conference Finals on what I want to call a Luka fluke, if that makes sense, that they shouldn't have been there. Everybody knew they weren't as good as the Warriors were. Everybody knew they probably weren't as good as the Suns were, but the Suns had a monumental collapse. Some people want to blame COVID. Do whatever you want. At the end of the day, they did make it to the Western Conference Finals, but then they got demolished. And we know that this roster is just not good enough, and Jason Kidd is a poor head coach. But we're going to keep around for at least the start of this season, and we're going to see what the Mavericks look like now with Jalen Brunson signing that big $100 million contract, and the roster is going to look something like this. Now, I, unlike Jason Kidd, am going to play Christian Wood and give him minutes and make sure he's there in the fourth quarter, because I, unlike Jason Kidd, want my team to win basketball games. So we're going to have Jalen Brunson, though, playing the one. This is the auto-generated lineups. Luka Doncic going to be playing the two. I know it's a little different than what we're used to seeing. Realistically, we should flip this, but the way that defense works in 2K, we're going to have Luka play the two. Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 3, Dorian Finney-Smith at the 4, Christian Wood at the 5, 30 minutes a night. Coming off the benches, Spencer Dinwiddie, JaVale McGee, Dwight Powell, and Josh Green, who has been having a great season this year. He's just giving them effort. He's knocking out shots. And unfortunately, I know Kemba Walker is not going to get minutes. Just a little experiment to see what the Mavericks would look like if they were intelligent, if they actually played their basketball players that were good, if they, gave a shit about winning, maybe we'd go and sign a free agent signee that would actually help the Mavericks, help Luka Doncic, because right now they just continue to sign these players that have been around on their team for 5 and 10 years that fill a role, you know, Dwight Howard, Maxi Kleber, whatever, and they earn $10 million a year. And then when you need to win basketball games, they do absolutely nothing for you. And no surprises because this is 2K, but Luka Doncic wins MVP 34, 11, and 12, triple-double, 52 from the field, 79% from the free throw line, and 45% from the three-point line. Paulo Banchero, Rookie of the Year, 20 points per game. Sixth Man of the Year is Bones Highland. Yeah, on his Defense Player of the Year. Bones Highland wins Most Improved. 10 to 16, I don't know about that. Jason Kidd, interestingly enough, wins Coach of the Year as we win Executive of the Year. Luka on the All-NBA first team. I don't expect to see any All-NBA players here. Maybe Christian Wood in a freak accident would make this. Don't have any rookies unless Jaden Hardy does it, which he does not. But the Mavericks are the #1 seed in the Western Conference. 54 and 28, one game up on the shock of the season Pelicans. What a year for this Luka Doncic squad, just behind the Boston Celtics. Exact same record, second though in the power rankings. And checking out these stats, I'm sure Luka was great, but he actually had a little bit of help. Jalen Brunson, 17 and 6. I mean, those are some good numbers that you have from a #2. Christian Wood, 17 and 9. That'll work. Spencer Dinwiddie even gave you a 13 and 5, and Tim Hardaway Jr. He was okay, 13, 3 and 1. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what he does. JaVale McGee does not average 9 and 7 anymore, ever. But hey, it is what it is, as this team actually performed and produced with only one change made to the roster, and that is going out and keeping Jalen Brunson. And even if they don't re-sign Jalen Brunson, get something back for him, man. Don't just let him walk and watch your team get noticeably worse. Anyway, offensively, third at 121.9 points per game. Defensively, never going to be great because of Luka. 20th, so 10th, giving us a 7.4 point differential. That should be second in the NBA. Field goal percentages, not great. 8th, 3-point percentages. Wow. 5th, and that's because Luka is glitching 2K. And free throws, really, really, really bad. 28th, and no surprise, I think the Mavs are the worst free throw shooting team in the NBA right now. No point in looking at the league stats, but let's just see how this Dallas Mavericks squad does against the what seed are the Timberwolves? The number 10 seed Timberwolves. They make a huge blockbuster trade. I mean, even though the Timberwolves are a complete disaster, imagine if the Mavericks went out and got Rudy Gobert instead. You know, you sign Jalen Brunson, get Rudy Gobert, maybe get Christian Wood as well and play him at the 4. I don't know, just spitballing here. But imagine if the Mavericks actually tried to get more talent on their team instead of just, you know, living with Dorian Finney-Smith and Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, look at these contracts that they have on the roster. It's abysmal, man. So you look at this season, Luka, of course, earning a ridiculous amount of money, as he should. Jalen Brunson would be their second highest player. And then Spencer Dinwiddie going to get $20 and $21 million. Tim Hardaway Jr. locked up 19, 17, 16. Davi Bertans, 3 more years of riding the bench, being a horrible, overpaid player. Christian Wood got that $14 million, and he's probably going to walk after this season, being completely honest. Dorian Finney-Smith, oh boy, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is he worth it when he's knocking down the 3 realistically? Yeah, but he's super streaky, and right now he's just struggling. Dwight Powell, $11 million for effectively a backup center. I don't know if that's really worth it unless you're going all in. Is this Kevon Looney? No. Reggie Bullock, $10 million at this point? No, this dude is worth maybe a veteran minimum contract. You can go and find a Lonnie Walker with your MLE for half the price. Maxi Kleber, 9, 11, 11, 11, never forget. JaVale McGee, $5 million. He was supposed to be your big mid-level exception, free agent acquisition, and he's been a bust for them. Josh Green is on his rookie contract, and he's balling out. And then Frank Ntilikina, no. Kemba Walker, no. Jaden Hardy, yes. And then the rest is just, they're so far over the salary cap with these ridiculous, useless contracts that are offering nothing to the team right now. Anyway, enough talking about the Mavericks. Let's see how they do in the playoffs as they win game 1. Luka drops 48, 8, and 12. Yeah, that's how you win basketball. Karl Towns not bad, 36, 5, and 5. But it's probably going to be a clean sweep. I say that, and it is 1-1, and the Mavericks are down 2-1. And is this reincarnation of the Dallas Mavericks going to lose? Okay, 140 to 124. Luka put up 40, 11, and 19. Jalen Brunson, 28 and 7. Funnily enough, this team is not actually dominating the way I thought they would in the playoffs. And they go up 3-2 and 4-2 now to take on the Lakers, who are the 5 seed? Okay, game. They have LeBron higher rated than Anthony Davis. That's funny. Kevon Looney made his way to the team. Yeah, that's what they need is more big men who can't shoot. But yeah, Kevon Looney's going to put this team over the top. Anyway, game 1 goes to the Mavericks. Luka put up 41, 9, and 13. Tim Hardaway Jr., 23. Christian Wood, 23 and 8. Brunson, 12, 2, and 5. Dinwiddie, 12 and 2. JaVale McGee. Yeah, I got to say, the bench has really been helping throughout this playoff run. I'm seeing a lot of points, a lot of stats that you don't normally see for the Mavericks. LeBron put up 27 and 9. Anthony Davis, 27 and 14. Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook. For the Mavericks, Luka was great. Jalen Brunson, 33 and 11, 38, 14, 14. These are ridiculous numbers, man. Tim Hardaway, 15 and 2. Spencer Dinwiddie wasn't great at 11, and Christian Wood disappeared 8 and 9, but he had 2 blocks. Can't discredit that. JaVale McGee's been producing as well as they do. 4-1 now back to the Western Conference Finals. 1 versus 2 seed. Pelicans versus Mavericks. Who you got? CJ McCollum versus Jalen Brunson. That's honestly a push. I think at their peaks, CJ McCollum is a better player, but he's just extremely streaky as well. Jose Alvarado and Luka Doncic. Good luck, my friend. Brandon Ingram on Tim Hardaway Jr. That's going to be a problem. Zion versus Dorian Finney-Smith. That'll be a problem. Christian Wood versus Jonas Valanciunas will be good. And the benches are, honestly, in the overalls department, comparable. I'm realizing we have JaVale McGee and Dwight Powell here, which you'd probably want to fix. Can we sap Dwight Powell's minutes? He's not going to really offer anything anyway. We'll throw in like Kleba, I guess. Give Kleba like 5 minutes a night. Bump Josh Green up to that much. Bump these guys up 30. Christian Wood can have 32. And there you go. Rocking basically an 8.5-man rotation. Here we go. Game 1 against the Pelicans as the Mavericks win. Luka, 26, 13, 14. But look at this scoring. Spencer Dinwiddie, 24 and 6. Jalen Brunson, 19, 3 and 5. JaVale McGee, 14 and 7. Christian Wood, 13 and 8. Dorian Finney-Smith, 11. Josh Green, 11. Tim Hardaway gave you a 10. For them, Brandon Ingram was good. CJ was good. Zion, not great. Jonas Valanciunas, pretty quiet. All in all, though, not bad to win. Game 1, win. Game 2, protecting home court, 2-1. Going up 3-1. CJ McCollum put up 25 and 13 for them. Jonas was good. Brandon was good. Zion, not great again. Luka didn't even play that great, but he had Jalen Brunson and Christian Wood to back him up. And of course, the monster of this rebuild, JaVale McGee. And hey, your team is producing. You're going to go to the NBA Finals. I say that and it goes to Game 7. I thought we were going to win, and I made a whole dramatic statement here. But hey, it ain't 2K if it ain't Game 7. Dallas Mavericks, Game 7, Western Conference Final. Winner goes to the finals. Loser goes home. Who you got? You got the Mavericks. You got the Zion Williamsons. And it looks like the Mavs have a little bit of a lead here in the fourth quarter. We're probably going to have to hop in here. 14-point lead. Mavericks jumping out in the late fourth quarter as they walk away with the victory. Luka Doncic, the Western Conference Finals MVP. I didn't look at the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, but 132-116, Game 7, and it is Mavericks versus Cavs to win it all. Rematch, right? No, it was Mavericks versus Heat. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. But hey, nobody's as good as Luka is in 2K23. Game 1 goes to the Luka Doncic's 46, 9, and 14. But look, with the help, Tim Hardaway Jr. put up 34 and 8. Christian Wood, 19 and 10. Jalen Brunson had a quiet game, but 6 rebounds, 9 assists to go along with his 10 points. That'll work. Josh Green gave you 9. Spencer Dinwiddie only gave you 8. JaVale McGee gave you 12. And I mean, look at the scoreboard. It wasn't even close because Donovan Mitchell was great and the rest of the team was not good for the Cavaliers. So there you go. Game 1 to the Mavericks. Game 2 to Cavaliers. Game 3 to the Cavs. And tied up 2-2. Donovan Mitchell had a quiet game. Darius Garland was really quiet. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. And they need help from Karis LeVert or Kevin Love. They need a fourth guy to score double digits on this team. As for the Mavericks, Luka, 32, 14, and 9. Christian Wood, 32 and 8. That's what you paid for. Jalen Brunson, 27 and 7 on efficient shooting. Spencer Dinwiddie, 11, 7, and 6. And then the rest of the guys didn't really help, but they walk away with a big victory, 2-2. Big Game 5 here, and the Mavericks go up 3-2. Luka drops 46 and 12. Christian Wood, 32 and 11. Tim Hardaway Jr. was okay. Jalen Brunson again. And this, look, if your Dallas Mavericks kept Jalen Brunson and theoretically Jason Kidd was a good head coach, you'd be 1 game away from winning the NBA Finals. Looks like Cleveland's going to protect home court here. We're going to be heading back to Dallas for Game 7. It ain't 2K if it ain't Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Cavs versus Mavericks. Who you got? Cavs versus Mavs. And the Mavericks are doing what they do best in big Game 7s. They are walking away with a huge victory over the other team. And we're just going to have to hop in and watch this championship ceremony. 24 seconds left, 191 to 124. And where's my guy, Luka Doncic? He's not in the game. And obviously, you know, the NBA gods have to be on your side. I don't know why there's 24 seconds exactly. It's not just 1-to-1. Oh, if Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson were on the same team, then obviously they would win the championship. You know, 2K is a video game. It's not even close to being a simulation of real life, etc. But I'm just saying, look at how much better the team would perform if Jalen Brunson was here to take some of the slack off of Luka. And we appreciate what Jalen Brunson has offered. We appreciate what Spencer Dinwiddie has offered, and we appreciate what Christian Wood offers when he plays. But this team looks a little bit better, looks a little more lethal when you have Jalen Brunson, when you have Christian Wood playing 30 minutes a night, when you have Dinwiddie, and when you have Luka leading the way, but not having to have a 40% usage rate, man. It's nuts. It's BS. And the biggest finger you have to point at this point can't even be Jason Kidd anymore. This is a theme throughout head coaches. And we got to start looking at the top. We got to start looking at the owner, Mark Cuban, and saying, are you the problem? Are you what's holding back this Dallas Mavericks squad?
Congratulations to the whole organization and, of course, this incredible team. This Larry O'Brien trophy and I believe this suitcase are yours.
And there you have it on the hot seat. The Dallas Mavericks and Jason Kidd as the head coach win the championship. And no surprises, Luka Doncic, number 77, is going to win the NBA Finals MVP trophy. Probably averaged 40, 9, and 15 if we had to guess his MVP final stat line. There you go. 35 points, 10 rebounds, 10.7 assists for the NBA Finals MVP. And all you got to do is keep Jalen Brunson on the team, re-sign him, bite the bullet, understand he's a $100 million man in the modern NBA contracts, get Christian Wood actual minutes, and the team actually produces. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if the Mavericks had a real front office? That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.